All right, welcome back. This is not really a podcast. This is more of a quick little spiel or a quick little thing that I thought was so important that I just read or just heard about online on YouTube, and I took a screenshot of this guy who was doing a speech, and it was a screenshot of one of his slides on his PowerPoint presentation on the speech. I've been very interested in alchemy recently, which is the true definition of alchemy is, or the definition that I know of to be most true, is the transmutation of energy into matter, or matter into energy, or consciousness into matter, which is energy. Consciousness is energy, a form, really. I mean, wherever we direct our attention, which is our consciousness, when we're aware of something, we can that is where we place our energy, which is therefore where we manifest how we perceive the energy and the matter in our physical reality around us. So I took this screenshot and I've been reading up on alchemy a lot lately, but this just makes it sound, in the 21st century, this makes the ancient practice of alchemy seem so much more profound and so much more relevant. So I went into a bookstore recently, right? It was Dimmicks in Brisbane, and I went up to the ladies working behind the counter at the bookstore, and I go, "Hey, do you have any books on alchemy?" And one of the ladies goes, "Oh, well, our system, unfortunately, we're not able to look up or search for topics, but you can search for authors or titles of books." And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go into the non-fiction section and just have a look for myself. And she goes, "Give me a second, I'll have a look." And then another lady who was working behind the counter goes, "Alchemy? That'd be in the fiction section." And I was like, I stood there for a moment, and I thought, and I sort of smiled, and I had a little laugh inside, and then I thought to myself, that's funny. A non-believer, she mustn't be open-minded. And then I said out loud, I said, "Well, I guess to people who don't believe, then it would be fictional. But that's the difference, right? What is the difference between fiction and non-fiction, truth and not truth? That's the difference between your own belief in whether it is true or not true. Is that not correct?" Anyway, so this is the thing that was said on that slide. Contemporary science tells us that the universe is made up of energy, matter, and light. Those would be what the alchemists called sulfur, salt, and mercury, respectively. According to Einstein's equation, E equals mc squared, energy and matter can be transformed into one another through the constant of light. In alchemy, sulfur and salt are transformed into one another through the intermediary of mercury. It looks like if that little c in Einstein's equation, E equals mc squared, really stood for consciousness instead of light, there would be no difference at all between physics and alchemy. Let us assume that consciousness is light. In that case, an emerald tablet, for anyone who doesn't know what the emerald tablet is, it was made by Hermes Trismegistus, an ancient alchemist, right? So way back in the day. So in that case, an emerald tablet would, for the 21st century, would look something like this. The Emerald Tablet News Release. Truly, without hype, religious exploitation, or commercial consideration, you can experience higher truths. You are as much a part of the material as you are a part of the mental, and you are as much a part of the mental as you are of the material. It's funny because in the Emerald Tablet, Hermes Trismegistus says, as above, so below, as within, so without. It's the same as that concept. In order to accomplish the miracles of light. Okay, so I'll go back and say that again. You are as much a part of the material as you are a part of the mental, and you are as much a part of the mental as you are of the material, in order to accomplish the miracles of light. And just as all things come from this light, through the concentration of consciousness. That could also be, I guess, called conscious awareness, or being totally aware and conscious rather than unconscious or operating at a subconscious level and not being aware. So, and just as all things come from this light through the concentration of consciousness, so do all created things originate from this light through the transformation of thought. Its father is energy, its mother, matter. The spectrum carries in its belly, its nurse is the earth. It is the origin of all, the consecration of the whole universe. Its inherent strength is perfected if it is materialized. Separate matter from imagination, the subtle from the gross, gently in deepest meditation. The light rises from earth to heaven and returns again to earth, thereby containing within itself the powers of both the mental and the material. Thus you will obtain the light of the whole universe, all darkness with B illuminated to you. This is the greatest force of all powers because it overcomes every mental thing and penetrates every material thing. In this way, the universe was created. From this comes many wondrous manifestations because this is the formula. Therefore, this deals with all three parts of reality and shows the underlying relationship between energy, matter, and light. Now we have completely explained the fountain of consciousness. And what's funny is, I have a book right here that actually has the original version of the Emerald Tablet from Hermes Trismegistus in it. And so that was the 21st century version, right, of the Emerald Tablet. I'll go back into this book. And this is the original words of Hermes Trismegistus's Emerald Tablet. True, without lie, certain and most true. That which is below is as that which is above, and that which is above is as that which is below, to accomplish the miracles of the One. And as all things came from the One by the contemplation of the One, thus all things arise from this one thing by adaptation. Its father is the sun, its mother is the moon, the wind carried in its belly, its nurse is the earth. The father of every miracle in the whole world is here. Its power is complete if it will be turned into earth. You shall separate the earth from fire, the subtle from the gross, gently and with great ingenuity. It ascends from earth to heaven and again descends into the earth and receives the powers of the things above and below. Thus you shall have the glory of the whole world. All obscurity shall fly from you. This is the strength of every strength, for it overcomes every subtle thing and shall penetrate every solid thing. Thus the world was created. From this shall come marvelous adaptations, of which this is the method. Therefore I am called Hermes Trismegistus, having the three parts of the philosophy of the whole world. It is completed that which I had to say about the operation of the sun. Now let me repeat the 21st century version of this Emerald Tablet, right? Okay, so here we go. Truly without hype, religious exploitation, or commercial consideration, you can experience higher truths. You are as much a part of the material as you are of the mental, and you are as much a part of the mental as you are of the material, in order to accomplish the miracles of light. And just as all things come from this light, through the concentration of consciousness, so do all things originate from this light, through the transformation of thought. Its father is energy, its mother is matter, the spectrum carries it in its belly. Its nurse is the earth. It is the origin of all, the consecration of the whole universe. Its inherent strength is perfected if it is materialized. Separate matter from imagination, separate matter from imagination, the subtle from the gross, gently, in deepest meditation. The light rises from earth to heaven and returns again to earth, thereby containing within itself the powers of both the mental and the material. Thus you will obtain the light of the whole universe. All darkness with be illuminated to you. I think it meant to say all darkness will be illuminated to you. This is the greatest force of all powers because it overcomes every mental thing and penetrates every material thing. In this way, the universe was created. From this comes many wondrous manifestations because this is the formula. Therefore, this deals with all three parts of reality and shows the underlying relationship between energy, matter, and light. Now we have completely explained the fountain of consciousness. So that was the translation of the Emerald Tablet. And I'll tell you a funny story about when I first read the Emerald Tablet. I was very interested in it, right? Because my birthstone is emerald. And my grandfather, Gogo, he's 94, 95 now. He lives on the Gold Coast, married to my grandma, who's 90. And he was born in Emerald, in Queensland. And my birthstone just so happens to be emerald. Anywho, I was very interested in this book because I heard it was the truest of true. And I've always been interested in seeking truth, right? And so 2 years ago, it was 2020 going into 2021, New Year's Eve. And I just so happened to be invited to this party. There was a New Year's Eve party with some friends up in a house in Brisbane. There was about, 10 of us max. We were drinking and blah, blah, blah. And we also happened to take LSD. Acid, as it's known, as a psychedelic drug. But I had one of the best nights, one of the best experiences of my life that night. And I was reading. I remember I'm laughing as I say this because the whole night was just filled with laughter and just joy and just so much fun. One of the happiest moments of my life. But anyway, I read the Emerald Tablet and it was like one of the versions that was one of the most updated versions. And so there was all of these people of the 20th century who had won Nobel Prizes and some of the greatest minds to ever live. Einstein, who else? Thomas Edison, Tesla, all these types of people. And they were all reading the Emerald Tablet written by Hermes Trismegistus way back in the ancient days before the Bible was written. And they were contemplating and reading it, and they were saying, basically they were affirming that they couldn't disprove what the truth of what Hermes Trismegistus was saying in the Emerald Tablet. So that therefore the greatest minds, the smartest, most intelligent people to ever live couldn't disprove the truth of the Emerald Tablet. So that goes a long way to show that it's pretty evident that it's got to be pretty much true, hey? As within, so without, as above, so below. It doesn't really make any non-sense. It is total sense because that's just the way of the universe. That's the way of the nature. That's the way that life unfolds as we perceive it as humans. I didn't think this was going to be a podcast, but it's been going for 15 minutes almost, and so that'll do. I guess we'll just do a short one. Thank you for listening. I hope I was able to elude you in a direction of experiencing and understanding higher truth. Thank you. Goodbye.